Cass County is now in session. The Honorable Mark A. Herman presiding.
Good to see you. We'll go on record on the court's morning docket, sentencing docket on Friday, September 5th, and the first matter of the court call is your Mr. Half, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll call file 25-10067, FH, Peak State, Michigan, versus Calvin Lynn Half. Mr. Half is present here in court, represented by his attorney, Gregory Feldman, and from the prosecutor's office, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Jason Ryan. Mr. Half's case is on the court's docket on a charge of sentencing here on a charge of possession of methamphetamine as a base offender second offense. I did receive and review the pre-sentence investigation report and the sentencing information report prepared by Agent Browning. And let me just inquire, Attorney Browning, did you get a chance to review that information? And if so, did you have any additions or corrections?
I've had a chance to review the reports and have no objections or corrections.
All right. And Attorney Feldman, you had a chance to review the reports as well?
I likewise had a chance to review the reports. I have no requested changes. I had a meeting with Mr. Half yesterday, went over the PSI and the recommendations with him. And to my understanding, he does not have any requested changes either.
All right. I'll just inquire of you then, Mr. Half. Attorney Feldman's indicated he's gone over the paperwork with you. You had a chance to review that with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
And were there any additions or corrections that you wanted to make to any of the information in the report?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I will give you a chance to make a statement if you choose. First, I'll hear from the prosecutor, Mr. Ronnie, and then I'll hear from Attorney Feldman on your behalf, and then Mr. Half, I'll give you a chance to make a statement if you choose. Attorney Ronnie.
Your Honor, the obvious concern here is, I'm sure the court is also aware that 3 out of the 4 sentencings today are methamphetamine cases for repeat offenders. And so I'm not going to belabor the point of how it is obviously clear it is that methamphetamine is an absolute issue and an absolute problem for many people in the county. I think for Mr. Half, it looks like he's saying all the right things in the pre-sentence report. He's acknowledging that he does want to take advantage of the Swift Insure program, which he has never had an opportunity to take advantage of before. But you know, he's saying all the right things. I'm hoping he can do the right things. He was only on parole for about a month before he was violated. And he has just an absolute horrendous string of violations and failures on supervision in the past. He does indicate in his statement of offense, or his description of the offense, that he wants to be more than a prison number or an overdose, and obviously we want that too. We are proponents of the programs, the problem-solving courts and the Swift Insure program. This, I hope he understands, and I'm sure the court's going to tell him, is his, we'll say, last chance. But he had prison on his last possession of methamphetamine. I think any violations of a Swift Insure, I would assume, are going to lead to a much higher prison sentence because he's getting this chance instead of just accepting a sentence and serving a sentence. He's asking for a chance, but that has a huge possible cost. So I'm hoping Mr. Half gets the message, and hoping he understands the benefit of this opportunity, and I hope he takes advantage of it. If not, we will see him again as we send him to prison. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I tried to be as transparent as I could with Mr. Half last night and all throughout my representation with him, that if he got this program, the judge, Your Honor, would probably give him a choice this morning, that if you're willing to accept him into the program, he would be taking a harder road because it's difficult to change who you've been for a couple of decades now. Or he could take the easy road, and the judge would probably tell him that, here's what I'm going to offer you in terms of jail or prison, and you've done that time before, so that's an easy road for you. You know you can do that, and you can come out and not having had to make a hard choice and change and rewire his way of thinking. I was transparent with the court that this is what I wanted for him, or what we were hoping for from him as a disposition of this case. He's nervous this morning because no court has ever given him this kind of opportunity if that's what the court's willing to do. He's going to have to learn to trust people He doesn't trust people very much. He probably is thinking in the back of his head right now, I screwed him over, prosecutor screwed him over, the judge is going to screw him over, and you're going to send him away for 3 years here today. If the court accepts him in the Swift and Sure, that'll be the first sign that he can start to trust what people are telling him, what people who are affiliated with the program. Your Honor, Mr. Ryan and myself are putting the information out for him to consider. I think he's an excellent candidate for the program. I've told him that I've got high expectations for him, that in 2 to 3 years I could see him coming out of this program and being a Preston or a Brad, somebody that can lead people out. The other side of that, as I've told him, is that if he does not complete the program successfully, he is probably looking at the higher end of those guidelines as calculated, and that the court would deem him not a sufficient person to be able to be safe out in the community, because Swift and Share is a community-based program, and he'd be looking at the higher end of those guidelines. He's told me over and over again, right up until about 9:30 last night when I was speaking with him, that he wants to take the harder road this time. He knows it's going to be very, very difficult to change. I've talked to him about all the procedures that are going to take place, how the program works, how we're going to arm him with a toolbox of ways to check down when he gets triggered and wants to go back to his old ways. I think he's ready to accept it, and I'd ask that the court follow the recommendation of MDOC.
Mr. Haff, this is your opportunity to make a statement on your own behalf, so.
Your Honor, I'm not gonna try to, disagree with what the prosecutor said. I've had a horrible record, and I've been a narcissist. I've been all about myself. I haven't cared about my children. I haven't cared about my loved ones. I tell them I love them, but I don't show it. While in prison this last time, I lost, my mother figure, and I got home, and I had to deal with that. And I didn't even go see her grave. And there was a lot of things on me when I came home, and I felt alone. And I didn't reach out to the proper people. I reached out to the people that I've known for years that claim to be my best friends, and they helped me numb myself. Since then, I have burned the bridge with them people that helped me to numb myself. It's probably the best bridge I've ever burned. I'm running out of time. I'm coming up on 40. If I don't make a change, I will never own a house. I will never have a chance to be a part of my grandchildren's life. I got a daughter that's about to graduate college. I didn't even see her off to kindergarten. I didn't see her graduate high school, and I would do anything in the world to watch her graduate college. I'm supposed to be a role model to my children, but thank God that they've not done anything that I've done. They've gone complete opposite of what I've done. And now my children have become role models to me. My son's taking a military background, and they're taken into the military, and my daughter, she's going to be a teacher, and I'm proud of them. I'm just glad they didn't do what I did. Now, I understand that the Swift and Sure program is going to be hard. I understand that if I mess it up, I will go to prison. And they say that that road is easy. It's not. It's not easy. It's not easy being in a cell alone. It's not easy making a phone call to have nobody answer. It's not easy. It's not easy having all the drugs that are in there and watching people die of overdoses in prison also. So with that being said, I'm willing to accept the consequences, and I'm willing to accept my failures and work my hardest to correct them and reach out when I do need help to other people if given a chance. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Haff, I've heard what you said here today. I had a chance to review the report, and your attorney made a comment of You know, you probably don't trust him, you don't trust the prosecutor, you probably don't trust me, because you figure we're all gonna screw you over. There's a fourth person that screwed you over, you. And you know what? We wouldn't even have been in your life if you hadn't started out and screwed yourself over first. So, if you feel that way about us, realize the only reason you're here in front of us to even feel that way, because you started the whole ball rolling. So, you know, Mr. Half, in this matter specifically, on March 18th, approximately 10 a.m., while you were on parole, and the prosecutor pointed out you've been on parole a month or so, police were dispatched to you, along with Sheriff's Department, along with Michigan Department of Corrections, went to your residence, 504 Telegraph, to do a compliance check. Apparently you'd made a call from the jail because you'd been arrested on an assault charge. And in that call, your agent heard that you reported having some meth in your room under the computer. They went to the home, search your room was conducted, and meth was found on the shelf under your computer. You're 38 years old, and you recently spent 4 years in prison for meth possession, and were just paroled in February this year as a prosecutor. And approximately a month later, you were arrested on this new charge. And it looks like you spent about 172 days in jail awaiting sentencing between this and other matters, and for which you're going to receive no credit. So if you were to violate your probation, if the court grants that to you, you don't get any credit for those times. So when you talk about prison being hard, you go back and you start out and don't have any credit. So you'll start out day one. And so, you know, I look at your history, and you know, how's meth working out? How's meth worked out for you today? You know, not very good, right? Because really you're looking at another prison sentence today based on your guidelines. Easily could go back to prison today. Now, I've received a report recommendations of the Swift and Sure program. You state PSI that you would love to take part in Swift and Sure. You also state you're getting older, that you will prove that you can be more than a prison number or another overdose. Your criminal history doesn't bear that out, though, when I look at it. You've been unsuccessful on probation and parole at least 7 times. You completed KPEP, you completed Sacred Heart, to no avail. And in addition to the 4 years I mentioned there, you spent another 4 years in prison. Previously, you know, you recently paroled between 2010 and 2014. And according to PSI, shows you've been using meth on a daily basis for 20 years. I don't know why this time's going to be any different, Mr. Haff. It was just 1 month after you were released on parole, you were back to your old ways with meth. You know, let's be honest with each other. Let's just get you back off to prison today, because it doesn't appear that you're sincere in your love for Swift and Sure. I think people are in love with these programs because they think it keeps me from going to prison. It doesn't. If you do these programs, I'm sure Mr. Feldman will tell you, I'm a believer in these programs as well. I'm a believer that people need the opportunity to change their lives. But I'm also a believer that if you sit here and think you can snow us all, that when you violate and come back in, you get sentenced at a higher end. So again, I think he indicated the decision. I don't know the decision up to you guys. You'll probably get a lower prison sentence if you just went today and got it over with. And I know it's not easy, but the reality is, you know what it is. You've done it. You can do it. Not that I would totally agree with you. I don't know how anybody wants to do it, but you've done it. You know how to do it. You probably know the little tricks to keep yourself safe and those kinds of things. If you go into the program, you could spend a year and a half in that program, and then a year and a half from now, go back to prison, go back longer than you would if you just told me you wanted to go back to prison today and get on about your business. And you know, you mentioned something that I look at, especially as I get older too. You're still a relatively young man. And you're throwing God's greatest gift away, life, over a substance that not only destroys your life and the lives of your family, It leaves you in ruin, and you never have anything to show for it but heartache. Talked about not, you've got a daughter that's graduated, close to graduating college, and you never took her to kindergarten. I mean, I don't know why in the world, and I know we see it, and Attorney Ronnie mentioned that we've got 3 of them together. Why would anybody choose that? It boggles my mind. I don't understand. And I don't know why you would keep going back to it. Because when you look at the reasons you've been in prison, it's not. Why? What good has it ever done you? It'd be like taking a hammer and hitting your thumb and going, damn, I think I'll do that again. Damn, I think I'll do that again. Damn, why? Once you've done it and it doesn't do anything good for you, why would you do it again? And I understand addiction, and I realize addiction is something that, that a lot of people have trouble with. And that's going to be one of the big problems you have. You've hit your thumb with a hammer 10 times here, and for some reason you want to do it again. I don't know why. I'm not adverse to giving you the opportunity to swift and sure, giving you time to prove that you're a man of your word. They can be more than the prison number. But I'm not sure you have it in you when I look at your history, especially when I look at all the times you violated probation and parole. I'd love nothing more than to have you prove me wrong, but again, I'm not sure you have it in you. Talk is cheap, Mr. Aff. You need to realize swift and sure is not a get out of jail card, get out of jail free card. Because if you're unsuccessful, as we've indicated, you're likely down the road going to prison for a longer time. It's up to you. I can just send you out to Jackson Bay for a shorter time period, or we can choose swift and sure. What do you want to do?
And I'm going to agree with everything you said today. However, if I were to be sent to prison today, I would come back out, and it's going to be the same thing.
You'd end up back here sooner or later in front of another judge.
I'm not going to learn how to deal with my addiction. With this, I'll be given a chance to flood my life with people that know how to deal with the problems that I have. I understand that if I do go to prison, as like you said, the easy way, and I don't want to have to deal with it. And then it's going to be the same thing, over and over and over. And you're right, talk is cheap. A lot of people do say this to get out of it, so I can get out of here today. I know I'm not going to get out of here today. I know that I have a long road ahead of me. I know that there's programs. I know that there's jobs. I know that there's meetings, and I'm going to do it. There's no I think I am. I'm going to, if given a chance. None of my record shows this, that I will where I can. None of it. But I can do it. I know it. Like they say that in order to measure a mountain, finding the top isn't the problem. It's right there, you can see it. You gotta find the bottom of that mountain first, and it goes way down deep. And I know that a lot of people in this program, like Preston, I've heard a lot about him, and I envy the man. And I feel like I could do it. I feel like when I help people, it gives me a great feeling inside. I love helping people. I love drawing. I love being able to fix people's cars. Because I love the feeling that it gives me inside to make somebody else happy. Because in my ways, I've not had a hug in years. A hug. That hurts. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to throw away every social media, I don't want no part of it. I want to cure it. I don't want to be that person. I understand that if I mess up, you know, give me the highest the guidelines, I will take it. But I'm not going there. Now I won't fight. I didn't show that I had it in me when I came home from prison. You know, I was weak when I came home. You know, I don't know what happened. I came home to a house with a woman that I thought was something that she wasn't, and everything was lies when I came home. I came home and there was flowers from another man for her on Valentine's Day. I come home and I found dope in the room that I was going to. I was lied. For 3 years I was lied to about what was going on in my relationship with this woman. I went to my parole office and I told my parole officer, this isn't gonna work, get me out of here. I'm gonna fail. But it was too late. The bug had already been planted in me. It isn't trying anymore, it's doing. Because at 38, if I don't do something now, I'll never own a house. Ever. I'll never have my grandchildren bounce on my leg. I'll never go fishing. I want that. You know? My grandfather used to take me fishing. I've been fishing now 30 years, you know? I want to do that with my kids. But if I go to prison, the only fishing I'm going to be doing is a little string underneath the door. I don't want that. So I said, if I said, I'll move to your second house. But I don't have to say here.
Well, Mr. Half, I'm gonna say if you're a man of your word, I'm gonna give you the opportunity. You know, you're saying all the right things today. You're saying, I think some of the things that are important is that when you can start thinking of others as opposed to yourself and just yourself, when you can start seeing some of the things in the future with your grandkids. You can't change your past. You can only move forward and change your future. And that's all we want. So I'm going to do on count one charge of possession of methamphetamine as a habitual offender, second offense. The sentence court placed on probation for a period of 3 years under the terms and conditions as outlined in the pre-sentence investigation report. There will be a $1,080 supervision fee that will be paid at the rate approved by your agent. You'll receive no credit indicated for the 170 days if you remain in custody here prior to sentencing as you were on parole when this offense was committed. I'm going to enter and successfully complete the Swift and Sure Sanctions probation program, comply with all the requirements of any participant agreement. As condition of your Swift and Sure probation, you shall also enter and successfully complete the Twin County Community Probation Center. You're going to undergo a substance abuse and a health assessment as directed, complete any recommended services or programs, and be subject to random drug screens. As term and condition, you'll pay $68 in minimum state costs, a crime victim rights assessment of $130, under attorney fees in the amount of $350 to partially reimburse the cost of providing legal assistance. This matter court costs of $500 based on the average cost of prosecuting a case here in the county, and you'll pay a fine of $500. There was no restitution request in this matter, so none is ordered. I'm going to advise you, Mr. Half, that you do have the right to appeal your sentence or conviction here today. To do so, you can file an application for leave to appeal. If you're financially unable to retain a lawyer, you may request the appointment of a lawyer to represent you on appeal. The request for a lawyer, if you wish to appeal my sentence or conviction to this court, needs to be the request for an attorney made within 42 days of today's date. I'm going to go ahead and remand you back to the custody of Cass County Sheriff and order that you released to the Swift jail will be the Swift and Sheriff staff or Twin County staff only. Mr. Half, the other thing you're going to have to, if you don't trust me right now, you're going to be seeing me every month. So I probably should have told you that you might have chosen to go to prison because you'll be seeing me every month. and I'm gonna monitor your progress. And, you're gonna find out that I'll be your biggest advocate if you're successful. You know that. It's all the court wants from you. I would prefer to see you walking on the street, be able to shake your hand, than to have to send you out the back door to prison. That's not the best part of my job. So I hope you appreciate